welcome back to the Sideninehomestead. Jody.
Sean.
All right, so here's our latest carnivore update. Today is day 37. So we've had a good week, I think. Day 37. We didn't weigh in this morning because we were traveling last night. So as of yesterday morning, I was down just under 18 pounds. So that was like 2 pounds over the last week. Well, yeah.
And I was down just about 25 pounds in 37 days.
Yeah. So pretty awesome to feel that, and to, things with our clothes. I know we've talked about our clothes issues. Kind of came to a head for him yesterday because his shorts, it was bad. I almost had to get out like a rope to hold them in.
There was a good 4 inches off my waistline.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So that was it. So that's our weight update. One thing we wanted to go over, our last video, we talked a lot about pros and cons, and kind of what we felt for each of us were our pros and cons. But we did think of a couple additional ones that we didn't talk about or didn't get into too much.
And some subscribers also pointed out, we're like, oh yeah, those are ours too. We just didn't think of those.
Yeah. So I think we talked a little bit about bowel movements. With the carnivore diet, everything you take in is used so efficiently for your body, whether it's food or water. There's very minimal waste.
It's all converted. I mean, it's protein, and that builds muscle, right? So we've noticed that, again, we're starting to see muscle. It's also partly because we're losing fat, right? But, when we used to go number 2, right? I used to go once, twice a day, and it was a lot, right? Yeah. And it would float. And if you know anything, floating is really bad. It's just it's just bad, right? So, but now, since we've been on this for a while, and we don't eat it nearly as much, even protein, right? So we could go with just a little steak and a little something else, like chicken or something, to last us all day. So when we do go to the bathroom once every 2 or 3 days now, and when we do go, it's very small.
Yeah, it's very minimal. So some people may feel like that's a con, but the pro is less toilet paper.
Yes.
So it's a cost savings.
Huge cost savings. I mean, we were going through rolls like crazy.
We were. Well, especially when we both used to work at home. It was like, I'm like, thank God I go to the office now. Free toilet paper.
But that, I think, is a huge plus too.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing we did talk a little bit about, waking up at night to pee, because I think, your body, we're taking in so much more water than we used to. We're much better at drinking water. We always have water with us wherever we go. So I think by the time you kind of settle down for the night and you're laying down to go to sleep, that's when finally your body processes everything through. And of course, as you're losing weight, you're generally going to pee more than normal. So we are getting up 1 to 2 times every single night.
Still, last night was twice.
Yeah, that's a little disruptive, but the good thing is, because the quality of our sleep is so good, we're able to go right back to sleep. So
yes,
that's a good thing.
Yes.
I wanted to talk a little bit about traveling and going out to eat. The first almost 30 days that we did this, I think up to like day 28 or 29, every meal was at home or, packed that I took to work. We didn't go out, we didn't travel, we didn't do anything because, you're trying to kind of hardwire those habits. But then we had a family event last weekend that we traveled for, and that was like our first kind of big test, and we talked a little bit about that in our last video about, the meals. Oh, that was what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate because the dinner, one of the choices for dinner was prime rib, and we were like, yes, great, we'll have prime rib for dinner. That's all we'll need. We'll be fine. And so I'll let you tell the rest of it.
And then there was a choice of 2 sides, either salad or soup or something. We're like, no sides. We just want the prime rib. So, okay, that was great. So when they came to serve the food, they tried to give us a salad. We're like, no, okay. So anyway, when they served the main course, which was the prime rib, they put it on a bed of rice, and there were some cooked vegetables. We're like, we should have just made it more clear.
Yeah.
Because, we moved everything to the side and we kind of scraped off the rice and we ate the prime rib and it was delicious. So, and we drank water. So we did a really good job. The funny thing is, though, I had a piece of prime rib and I didn't realize there was a grain of rice. And I put it in my mouth, and she was like, "Oh, stop! Spit it out! Spit it out! You're gonna die!"
I'm like, you're cheating!
It wasn't that bad,
trying
but
to kill you.
yeah,
No.
we did make a big deal about it. I was like, "Oh my God, Jody, I ate a piece of rice. Oh,
One grain.
It's all over." No,
Just
but
throw the whole diet out the window.
right? But anyway, I mean, we found that was actually pretty okay. I mean, you could go out and order stuff and find out how it's cooked and prepared.
I think that it was good for us because, for one, we were with all family, so we of course let them know kind of what we were doing, and then you didn't feel awkward about it, like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna eat and this is what we're gonna drink, and no, we're not gonna have cake and ice cream, and we're not gonna have
It looked good too.
He's a sweets person.
Was.
But when we were
Except for this sweet.
So sweet. But they had some of the appetizers out, which was nice because it was a cheese board with some fruit, and then they had this crab. And so the gentleman brought it out, and I asked him what the crab was in, because it looked more of like a vinaigrette, but I wanted to know what was in it. And he went and found out. We made sure there was no sugar, no gross canola oil or anything like that. So it was safe for us to eat. But I think it opened the door for us that we're like, okay, so we can kind of make adjustments as we go out. So that was our first thing. And then yesterday, we went up to Lake Erie. They have some nice areas up there. We like going up there. It's a nice place to walk. They have nice parks and things like that. It wasn't a hot day, so it wasn't a good beach day or anything like that, but we enjoy just being outside and walking along the water and things like that. But we learned, okay, we're okay to travel. We can get what we want. And we went to one of our usual places that we go to, and we went there for breakfast, which is the easiest meal ever to eat when you're doing this type of lifestyle, because we got eggs, bacon, ham, sausage, and water. And we were both, and that was like at 9 o'clock? I don't think we were really hungry until like 2:30, maybe, somewhere around there.
There was 2 eggs.
Yeah.
A little piece of ham. It wasn't a big meal.
No, it was not a big
but
meal.
it was big to us because we've shrunk. Our stomachs have shrunk.
Yeah, we just don't eat a lot at once.
Yeah, so breakfast is easy.
But it was nice because then, we know that that's another option if we're traveling, or there are a lot of diners and restaurants that serve breakfast all day, so that's another option. So if you're going someplace, you can always go and get breakfast choices at night. So that was a good thing for us too. We also learned that when we travel, always have our water bottles with us. So even we were driving around doing different things, we had our waters, we had bottles to refill our water bottles, like we were
electrolytes
ready to go for the day. So I think what happens, especially when you travel, you kind of get out of your routines. I think when we're both working, we have our routines with our water, and we make sure that we're staying hydrated. But even prior to starting the carnivore lifestyle, we would slack off on the weekends with our water intake, and then you'd be tired and you couldn't figure out why you were tired. And I'm sure it had to do with food as well, but we weren't very good about keeping up on the water. So yeah. I think that was a positive thing.
So the big thing too that we want to touch on next is the word diet, right? Because when we did go to the family gathering, people noticed that we lost a lot of weight, and they were like, well, how are you doing that? Well, we gave up alcohol, and everybody was like, what?
What?
But anyway, and then we told them, we were on the carnivore diet, and they're like, well, you just eat meat, just meat. We're like, well, it's not just meat, right? For us, I mean, we go more than just meat. We do seafood, poultry, and pork as well. So and eggs. And eggs. But we stick to just butter, beef tallow, salt, and some pepper.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit of pepper. Not a whole lot of stuff.
But the big thing is, they're like, we would get, we've tried that diet and it didn't work. So I've had, so this past weekend, I had about 4 or 5 people say, "Oh, we tried that diet, but it didn't work because as soon as we stopped, we gained it all back." I'm thinking it's not really a diet.
Well, and we laugh too because anytime you stop like whatever health way of living that you're living, if you stop that, you're going to revert back to the old ways, right? So it's like you think of back in the day when your doctors would recommend Weight Watchers. Well, you do Weight Watchers for 3 months, you lose 5 pounds, you're discouraged, so you stop it, and then your response is, "Oh, I did Weight Watchers and it didn't work." You know, you can't say that because did you really do it the proper way? You didn't give it time, and it's supposed to be a lifestyle change.
Bingo, right
Yeah.
there. So our biggest pet peeve that we're going to air right now is the word diet, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when you say carnivore diet, they're like, "Oh, you're on a diet. You're just going to do something for a short period of time, lose weight, and life is good." No. Carnivore diet, we shouldn't even use the word diet, really, because it's a lifestyle, right? The word diet should just imply what you're eating, what you're taking in.
Yes.
Not necessarily you're taking a diet. I'm on a 3-week diet. I'm on a 17-day diet. I'm on this water diet. So, to us, we kept getting, bombarded with the whole diet. Now, this is a carnivore lifestyle. Like, we plan on doing this, we do at least, forever. I mean, we're going to always follow this path. Now, maybe 120 days in or whatever, when we reach our goal of our weight, we're still going to do this lifestyle. The only thing we might do is maybe bring back like coffee. Maybe. We don't know. We may drink coffee and hate it. We don't know. But, once we do get to the weight where we want to be, we're going to stay on this and eat meat and do everything. But we may introduce things back. Maybe Saturday, maybe we'll have a glass of wine again in the future. We don't know. Maybe we'll have a glass of wine and we'll hate it. We'll be like, "Oh yeah, this isn't us anymore. We don't want to do this." But maybe we do. Maybe we want to have a glass of wine and some cheese and some meats, right? The cheese and meats would be along.
Good.
Yeah. So, the whole thing about the carnivore diet, I mean, it's a lifestyle.
And I think when people, the word diet has such a negative connotation.
Like you're going to starve yourself.
Yes. And it's like, oh, and it's a finite thing, right? Like I'm on the carnivore diet and like I read this book and I'm going to do this for 90 days and it's going to cure everything about me and then I'm going to go back to eating my burgers and my fries and my pizza. I'm like, that's not the way it works. When you think about diet, the word diet, well, you can easily say my diet consists of meat, pork, seafood, chicken, eggs, butter, those types of things. While, my neighbor Joe, maybe his diet consists of bread and pizza and potatoes and all kinds of vegetables, maybe, or, you may know someone else who is a vegetarian or a vegan and their diet consists of other things. So it's not necessarily, I think we need to twist the way we think about the word diet. It's just what we're consuming, and so this is what we're choosing to consume. This is what our diet is made up of.
So I just thought of this. Why do vegans not say it's a vegan diet? They just say we're vegan, or we're a vegetarian. Right?
That's actually a good point.
Now that I think about it, they don't say I'm a vegetarian diet. Why do we say it's a carnivore diet?
Yeah, we should just say we're carnivores.
Yeah, we're carnivores. Just throwing that out there. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
So that was the big thing that people over this past weekend came up to us left and right. Hey, we did that diet. That diet didn't work. As soon as I got off it, I gained it all back plus some. So those people weren't in it to make a real difference for themselves. They were in it because they were in a bad place and they just wanted to lose weight. They lost the weight. They were miserable and they went back on. The regular human diet.
And it was their mindset, right? Like, I'm going to do this so that I can lose these 25 pounds and then everything will be great. And then once I lose that weight, I can just live my life and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And that's not the way any change. I mean, it's just like we said in the beginning about hardwiring habits. When you take, what is it? I forget what the rule is. Like, you do something consistently for 21 days or something. I think it's 21 days. Then it becomes a habit. So I think it's the same idea where if you're thinking it like, oh, we're just going to do this until I'm going to go on this diet because I have a wedding to go to in 4 weeks and I need to fit into this outfit, or I have this event going on and I want to look good for it. okay, that's a great goal in mind, and like, yeah, you know, it would be nice to hit certain goal marks by certain dates, but that's not really, it doesn't matter, you know, when you're really doing it for health and for the way that you feel and all the other benefits that we've gone over in the past. So for us, that's not the way we choose to look at it.
No, so that was big.
Yeah. So I think that's it. We didn't have a ton of major updates for this week. So we'll keep on keeping on, and we'll give you an update in another week. So we'll be at what, 44 days?
Yeah, so for real quick though, like last video, we said recommendations on this way of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you still recommend it?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. I think because it's so easy. You know, even though so let me put it this way. I think it's all perspective, right? Like, it's your attitude of how you look at things. Like, I could make a list a mile long of all the things that I can't have because that's my choice. So these are the things that I can't have, and oh my gosh, woe is me, and I can't have any of these things. But I don't even think about that. I think about what we can have, and we're so satisfied with the food. Like, I have no cravings. I'm hardly ever like, oh, I'm so hungry. I don't know if I've ever said that. I'm like, Like this morning we ate some steak, and I was like, okay.
We got back,
And that was, what was that, 9 o'clock? Something like that. And we really haven't eaten since, and it's, I don't know, 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Yeah. So I would strongly recommend it too. For me, like I said in the last video, day 25 is when I got all my energy back, and now I'm walking and skipping again, and above that, right? So I have all my energy back plus. So for anybody watching this thinking about, I'm gonna maybe try it, I mean, the first 25 days I was sluggish, to tell you the truth, and I wasn't motivated. I stuck with it, and I saw the goal ahead, and I was pushing through it. It's just I was kind of tired and kind of, blah, 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 because there's a lot to do. We keep moving nonstop, but that day 25 was golden for me, and I know a lot of you had made a lot of comments that some of you it was 3 weeks, some of you it was sooner, some of you it was later. So it seems like if you're going to start this, you got to be into it for at least 60, 90 days in order to get the benefit. So yeah, I would give 2 thumbs up. It just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, I would agree.
And again, before we say goodbye, thank you all. I mean, again, with all your great comments and your stories, it really makes us feel good to hear your stories and how much you've lost and all. You have to read the comments. The comments are just wonderful. Thank you. I mean, there's been a lot of illnesses, a lot of sicknesses. I mean, just a lot of pain and suffering that this new lifestyle has changed. And if you read the comments, you'll see people who are on this lifestyle, they get healed with all kinds of stuff.